My sister tried to destroy my career by sending fake emails claiming I was addicted to drugs. I decided she wasn't welcome at my wedding, but my parents showed up with her anyway. What happened next ended with her being arrested in front of everyone. My sister, Jolene, had resented me ever since I got accepted into nursing school and she didn't. We had both applied to the same program, but when her application was rejected, she completely changed. Instead of trying again, she started acting like my success was somehow an attack on her. At first, it was just little comments. She'd say things like, I thought I was better than everyone else, or that nursing school had made me arrogant. She constantly predicted that I would fail and embarrass myself. I tried to ignore it because she was still my sister, and I didn't want to turn our relationship into a constant fight. After graduating, I got an interview at one of the most respected hospitals in our city. It felt like the opportunity I had been working toward for years. I spent 2 full weeks preparing for it, and when the interview finally happened, everything went perfectly. The hiring manager even told me I was their leading candidate and that I should expect an offer by the end of the week. Friday passed without any call. I waited all weekend and finally phoned them on Monday morning. The hiring manager sounded completely different from before. Her tone was cold and distant. She simply said they had decided to hire someone else. I asked what had changed. After a long pause, she explained that they had received several emails from someone claiming to be my former roommate. According to those emails, I had serious substance abuse problems and had even been removed from a clinical placement for showing up intoxicated. I was completely shocked. None of that was true. I barely even drink, and I had never been disciplined during my training. I begged her to show me the messages. She wouldn't send them, but eventually described the email address. It used my full name, followed by the word truth. Something about the language in the messages she summarized felt familiar. The dramatic tone, the specific phrases, it reminded me strongly of Jolene. That Sunday, I confronted her at my parents' house. She laughed it off and denied everything. My parents immediately defended her and told me I was overreacting. But I wanted proof. I hired a tech specialist who managed to trace the recovery number linked to the email accounts. It led directly to Jolene's phone. When I showed my parents the evidence, they still tried to excuse her behavior, saying maybe she was just hurt or jealous. That was the moment I decided I was done. I blocked Jolene everywhere and cut off contact. Unfortunately, the damage had already spread. It took me 4 months to finally get hired because Jolene had sent the same accusations to several other hospitals where I had applied. Months later, my life started improving again. I met an amazing man, and eventually we got engaged. When we sent out the wedding invitations, Jolene's name wasn't included. My parents immediately called and told me excluding my own sister was unacceptable. I told them very clearly that if she showed up, she would not be welcome. On the wedding day, everything was going smoothly until my maid of honor rushed into the bridal room looking stressed. Your sister is here, she said. My parents had brought her anyway. I refused to let her ruin the day. The ceremony went beautifully, and for a while, I managed to ignore the tension. At the reception, however, Jolene was already moving between tables, telling guests that I had exaggerated everything and that she never sent those emails. Then, 2 detectives quietly entered the reception hall. Apparently, one of the hospitals she had contacted reported the emails as fraud because she impersonated a medical professional and even forged documents to make the accusations look official. The investigation had been going on for months. During dinner, the detectives approached her table and asked for her name. When she confirmed it, they informed her she was being arrested for fraud, forgery, and impersonating a licensed professional. The entire room went silent as they placed handcuffs on her. Nearly 200 guests watched as my sister was escorted out of my wedding reception. My parents looked completely stunned. After the officers left with her, my father walked up to me and quietly asked if I was satisfied now. I simply lifted my glass and took a sip of champagne. The salmon is actually really good tonight, I said calmly. You should try it.